Hi, I'm Max Marshall, founder of Porchlight. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways that you can survive social distancing during divorce. A lot of couples stay in the same household while the divorce process is pending but not finalized. This can be for either practical or financial reasons. But since we're sheltering in place right now, staying in the same house is a lot more stressful and challenging for everyone involved. So we have a couple of suggestions as to how you can make that experience less stressful and just better overall for everyone. Suggestion number 1 is to give each other designated personal space. One way you can do this is if you have a guest bedroom, one of you can move into that bedroom so that you actually have separate bedrooms and space that the other person never even has to enter. If you don't have a guest bedroom though, that's okay. You can create designated personal space during the day. So for example, one of you can get use of the living room and one of you can get use of the dining room. Now chances are that one of these rooms is either more comfortable or more conducive to working than the other. So what you might want to do is alternate days so that you can both have time in the optimal space. Either way, if you can create some designated personal space for each other, that physical distance can help to ease any tension in the household. Suggestion number 2 is to create and agree to clear expectations for household responsibilities. It is so easy to get frustrated and start an argument over tiny little things in the household. So if you create clear expectations and everyone knows exactly what they're responsible for, you're way less likely to have an argument over things like that. You might even want to go old school here and actually create a chore chart. That way everything's written out and there's no possible confusion. Now, if you think about your spouse as the person you've been living with and disagreeing with for the however many number of past years, it's going to be pretty challenging to reach agreement on some of those household things. But if you think of your spouse as a new platonic roommate who you have to make some compromises with for the overall harmony of the home, it's going to be easier to reach an agreement that you can both live with. Suggestion number 3 is for parents. If you have children, you can create a designated on-duty parenting time schedule. What this means is that the on-duty parent is responsible for caring for the children, for making sure they're actually doing their schoolwork if they're in school, for keeping them entertained and not allowing them to interrupt the other parent during the workday, and for making all the day-to-day decisions while they're on duty. It is really easy, again, to have fights with your spouse if you're trying to coordinate every single little thing at every moment with the children all day, every day. So if you can limit the number of times that you need to interact with on this and save those interactions for bigger, larger scale decisions, you're going to reduce the opportunities to have conflict. To do this, of course, you will need to cede control to the other parent when it's their time and just be willing to go along with whatever parenting time decisions they make. This is also going to give you good practice for when you're living in separate households, because you're not going to be talking to each other about every tiny decision then, and you're also not going to have the other parent there to hand the children off to if they're getting really out of control and creating chaos in the household and you are just at your wit's end. Number 4 is to give each other alone time. The best way to do this while social distancing is to take a walk or get some other form of outside activity and do it every day, even if it's raining. That way each spouse gets some alone time in the house, because you should take your walks separately, and each spouse will get alone time when they're on their walk, so they can use that to clear their head, just get some fresh air, exercise, and come back to the home feeling in a better mood than they were before, which is of course going to make a happier household. This is going to work best if you guys can agree to a schedule for when you'll each take your walks. That way, each of you can have time to anticipate and look forward to when you're getting that alone time in the home. The final and 5th idea is to agree to disagree. If historically you and your spouse have fought a lot, this is going to be one of the most impactful changes, but it's also going to be one of the most difficult to achieve. But remember, there are reasons, probably many, many reasons, that you and your spouse are getting divorced. You are not going to change all their annoying habits or their worldview that is completely divergent to yours during this time of social distancing. So what you should do is let it go, see if you can reach an agreement with them to just not bring up any of these arguments while you're social distancing. If they won't agree, you can still choose to be the bigger person and walk away from arguments. Just create a little mantra to say to them. I will not argue with you while we are both stuck in this house. If you say that calmly in response to every time they try and bait you or start an argument, they're going to get bored of trying to argue with you pretty quickly. I hope that these suggestions will help you and your spouse and any children that you have to have a happier, more positive, and relaxed sheltering in place experience, even though you're doing it during divorce. If you need help with your divorce or have questions about starting the divorce process, contact Porchlight. We're here and ready to help.